Hey guys, it's Imran Jacob. Welcome to Decoding Hollywood, where I talk about all things Hollywood. Today we're talking about how to get an agent or a manager. Let's say you have an amazing script, but you don't know how to market it. Where do you turn to? One potential option is going to an agent or manager who can market your script. Agents and managers are known as literary representatives. They are the ones who are responsible for marketing your script and hopefully closing you deals. They are business people. They understand how to do a lot of these things. Hopefully, if you have a good agent or a good manager. So let's talk about agents. Agents are people who find deals. When you think about the major agencies, you think about CAA, WME, maybe Gersh, and then management companies like 360, Zero Gravity, Anonymous, and ultimately these companies are supposed to help you in your writing career. They're supposed to be champions of your work and supposed to support you and get you in touch with people that can potentially buy your work or hire you for other work. One thing to keep in mind before we start talking about this is that you want to have somebody who is a champion of your work and understands what you do and what your brand is as a writer. You don't want somebody who doesn't understand that, who doesn't understand what your goals are and is misaligned with what you want to do for the rest of your career as a writer. And you also hopefully have somebody who's both hungry enough to service you and also has the necessary connections to actually get you business deals. Managers and agents can be a good supplement to the reach out that you're doing on your own. You should take full ownership of your career. You should try to meet executives, you should try to meet showrunners, you should try to meet people that you can work with, producers, all on your own without the agents and managers, and the agents and managers should be kind of a supplement to that. At least that's the way that it starts off in your career, and that's the way that it's always been for me. I've always tried to take full responsibility for my own career, and when I don't, that's usually when things don't go the way that I want them to, so I know that it's best to take control of my own career. There's kind of a chicken and the egg situation with this, because you might need credits and you might have to work in some rooms before you get attention from agents and managers, but that doesn't mean you can't start looking immediately. You might have experience that is essential and can be monetized in the marketplace, so there's no need to hold off on it, but just keep that in mind if you're not getting a ton of bites when you first reach out to agents and managers. Keep in mind that they're supposed to work for you and not vice versa. You are supposed to tell them what you want to do, and they, if they're good and they understand what you're doing and have the right connections, should be able to help you. Sometimes they don't treat you with respect, and sometimes they make you feel like you need them, but really the industry needs writers and producers and auteurs to make their content. Nothing gets made without the artists who are actually making it, so just keep that in mind. There's no one way to find representation, but I hope that I can give you some tools that can help you find representation. And just remember, these are principles, not rules. Nothing is set in stone. If you have a much better way of doing it, let me know in the comments. Tell me so I can learn from you. I'm just one person. This is just my opinion, and I can't speak for everybody, but this is some of the stuff that I've picked up from 20 years of experience in the film industry. A little bit about me. I went to the major film schools. I went to USC, I went to Chapman, I went to UCLA, I went to NYU. I even taught at UCLA after the fact. Then from there, I worked as a professional filmmaker. I worked as a PA on sets. I worked in writers' rooms, I worked as an executive assistant, and then I finally worked as a writer on multiple projects that were sold and produced. I've also worked on Golden Globe and Emmy-nominated shows in different capacities like Narcos, Hannibal, Hemlock Grove, F is for Family, The Punisher, and October Faction, and most recently I had my pilot produced. I sold a treatment that Eva Longoria produced into a podcast. Now mind you, agents and managers will not solve all of your problems, and they may not even get you your first job. They need heat or credits or an amazing script. They need something to sell you. They can't fix all your problems. Again, you always need to take responsibility for your own career. So I've had 5 management teams, and I'll tell you how I got them. The first team I got off of a referral, and I had a warm reach out to them. It wasn't a formal arrangement that we had, but they hip pocketed me, which means that they helped me develop. They didn't have a formal commitment to me. How did I get the heat to get my first manager? I had a film in the trades. It had just been announced that Kevin Pollak was attached to direct a feature that I had written. I actually got a warm referral from one of my friends, so when I reached out to that management company, I said, hello, my friend, who was a staff writer at the time, told me to reach out to you, said you're a great company to work with. Can I meet with you? And they requested a sample, and so I sent my sample in, and they liked my sample, and they met with me. And that was the process. And then we had a great conversation, and then we started working together on finding a project that we could actually market. That was all I had for a little while. I actually needed to get more heat and more experience before I found my next team. After I had worked in my second writer's room, I had gotten into the PGA diversity program, which is now unfortunately defunct. But I had a lot of heat. I was in the trades. I was getting a lot of attention, and managers wanted to sign me off of that. So I actually had one of my old UCLA professors reach out to me and set me up with a manager who helped me develop another script. And because I had the heat, because I had the warm referral, and I had the connection, I was able to work with that manager for about 3 months, developing a new project. Didn't work out, unfortunately, but the next manager that I had was one of the best managers of my career. I had a potential open writing assignment with Netflix, which means that they were potentially going to hire me to write a script based off of a book that they had the rights to. And I had been talking to this manager, and we had connected on so many different things. We loved sports. We both loved bowling. We really got along, and I still love that manager to this day. We ended up working together for a very long time. We developed a script based on Kobe Bryant's life in 1999. This is 2 years before he passed away, but we did really good work on it, and he actually pitched me things that were so perfect for that script. He gave me some of the best notes that I could ever imagine, and I really appreciate that. During those conversations, I realized that this was a perfect fit for me at where I was in my career, or at least I thought it was. He was more of a features guy, and I needed more of a television agent. And so we worked together for about a year and did, I think, very good work, some very formative work. Unfortunately, that management company didn't work out for me. I needed to get television work, didn't have too many feature ideas. I was coming off of 2 writers' rooms, and I had gotten a lot of attention for my television projects. So I had to leave. I actually didn't have any management for about 6 months. And randomly, I got reached out to through my Twitter account by a manager who had just gotten promoted at a major management company. He was very passionate about my work, and I really appreciate him signing me. And he really took a liking to the pilot that I had written. We worked together for about a year. Unfortunately, he left the management company. I was inherited by some new managers at the same company, and those were my 5 teams. Those were the 5 teams of representatives that I worked with for my career. And that's why I feel like I have some sort of expertise on how to get a manager. I've been doing nothing but getting managers and agents for the last 5 years, and in the hopes that they would get me further along in my career. So there's a few ways you can get repped. One is by winning one of the major fellowships that the networks have. So ABC, NBC, CBS, I think it's called the Paramount Writers Program. The major networks have these different fellowships that they staff people off of. And also they put their fellows in the trades and make sure that everybody knows about these writers. That is a great way to get represented. If you can get into one of these fellowships, it's extremely beneficial for your career, and it will get you a lot of heat. Just keep in mind, it's extremely competitive. There's tens of thousands of people applying, I assume, and they choose maybe 10 people if you're lucky. You can also win a major screenwriting competition like Austin or Nickel. And I'm sure there's other competitions that will also get you represented, but those are the 2 major ones that if you win them, there will be some sort of heat around you. These days, unfortunately, I think there's a little bit less potential for signing those people that win Austin, because the agents and managers are kind of focused on their current clients, and it's just a harder proposition for them, just to be honest. Another way to get attention for yourself is taking a support staff job in a writer's room. So what is that? That's where I started off. I was a showrunner's assistant in my first writer's room, but there's the writer's PA who gets the lunches and does kind of the odd jobs, the showrunner's assistant who manages the calendar, manages the schedule, the writer's assistant who takes notes, and the script coordinator who does a lot of legal clearances, does a lot of proofreading. All of those roles would get you some sort of attention to be signed by a management company or agency. Getting staffed as well, although at the agencies I'm hearing that it's extremely difficult even for staff writers, new staff writers, to get signed by agencies. But Those are good ways to get yourself attention and potentially get you represented. You can also cold query, which is reaching out to agents and managers cold, not knowing them, and hoping that they respond to your material and that they are interested in working with you. I don't have too much experience with this, so it's not exactly my area of expertise, but one way you could do it is call an agent's office that you like, find the number in IMDb, call the agent's office and say, hey, can I talk to so-and-so's assistant? Talk to the assistant and say, hey, would you have time to read a script that I wrote, or can I send you my log line? Don't send it unsolicited, obviously, otherwise you'll end up in the trash can. The major companies don't take unsolicited work, so just keep that in mind, but just try to get in touch with them and get them to solicit your work. Some people say to just wait until you have heat, until people are coming to you, which kind of was the case for me. I waited until people came to me, but then when I didn't get signed by those people, I started to look elsewhere for people that I wanted to work with. I think the best way of finding an agent or manager is through your connections. If you don't have connections in Hollywood, you have to focus on building those. Find writers, find executives, find people that can refer you to those agents and managers. Don't ask them immediately. Get friendly with them. First and foremost, make sure you have a connection and a rapport, and then hopefully they become your friends, and then your friends will be your best connections ultimately. What kind of scripts do you need to have ready? Ideally, you have something super marketable that they can sell immediately. That means they can get you staffed on something. They can sell that script. If it's a highly marketable feature, they can sell it immediately. They want something that there is a market for, that they see a clear path for them helping you with your career. But think about the shows that you want to work on. If you want to work in TV, or think about the movies that you want to write, or write your dream movie. Make sure that you keep it low budget and high concept. Those are kind of maybe good ground rules and guidelines, but not necessarily hard and fast. Again, these are principles, not rules. What you also want to do is master the genre. Make sure that you understand the genre better than anybody else, or that you can compete and have a conversation with people. What does that mean? That means that if you're a crime drama writer, you know The Wire, you know The Shield, you know The Sopranos. You can have a conversation with other working professionals about the shows that you love and use those shows as references for the shows that you're working on. If you're a procedural writer, you should know CSI Miami, you should know Law and Order, you should know even the classic procedurals, you should know Homicide: Life on the Street, you should know NYPD Blue, but just have an understanding of the genre to the best of your ability. One of my friends loves superheroes. She's going to master the genre space, and she just focuses on that and just knocks it out. Also, make sure that you have a collection of scripts, so that if they like your first script, they can ask you, what else do you have? And you say, oh, I have this also amazing script that you're also going to love, and that they know you're not just a one-trick pony. You don't need a second script, but it is good to have just in case they ask for a second one. And always keep more log lines, more ideas, more concepts ready just in case they ask you, in case they don't see the marketability of your samples and they want you to start something new. That's something that could happen. Maybe they love your script and you want them to make that script, and you say, I want you to make this script, or I want you to try to sell this script, or whatever it might be, and you can apply some pressure there, but also be flexible. Well, you want to make a deal and you want the people that are trying to sell you to be passionate about your work, so just keep that in mind. I've also helped people get representation. I understand the decision-making process that I went through. So for example, I had a friend who was in the PGA diversity program with me. She had an amazing sports feature that I thought would be perfect for my manager at the time. And I told him, you should sign this person. And it was a feature, so it was going to be right up his alley. I made the strong referral in that situation. Some of my students I connect with agents and managers, and I want them to succeed. I want them to be success stories. I'm motivated for them to succeed and have a great literary representative that can help them in their career. If somebody has a great relationship with me, I will give them my contacts. I will introduce them to people that I really like. I have to trust that person is going to be a good representative of me. So it takes a lot of time to build that trust. I also had friends from my writers' rooms who asked me for help, and I was able to connect them with managers and agents. So if you're starting off, how do you get connected? And you don't have to live in LA anymore. I think that social media is a great way to connect with people. Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook. If you don't know anybody, then Twitter and Threads are the place to start, and maybe even LinkedIn. There are groups of filmmakers on those sites that can help you get connected, that can give you information, that can help you in your career, and give you support in your writer's journey. If you have a more personal and intimate connection with somebody, then maybe Facebook or Instagram are going to be good ways to connect with people, because a lot of writers are on those, and it takes time. I would suggest that you don't immediately ask somebody to read your script just because people are very busy in this industry, and you also want to build a rapport with somebody. So instead of asking them if they can do some work for you and they don't know you, try to connect with them, try to relate to them about something. Try to have positive conversations. I have so many bad interactions on social media. I won't give those people my time. I don't even respond to those comments. But if somebody says something positive, if somebody's a nice person and has a good attitude, I will usually interact with them and hopefully help them in their journey. If you live in LA, then you have an unfair advantage. And the best places to get connected in my experience are HRTS, JHRTS, which is the Hollywood Radio and Television Society, and Junior Hollywood and Radio Television Society. Those are great organizations for meeting like-minded people who are in the same stage of their career as you. Another big one, if you're an executive assistant, is the Awesome Assistants Facebook group. It's kind of a subgroup, but it really connects a lot of people, it helps a lot of people, it's a great community. And every year, Austin Film Festival is also a great way to meet other writers, also a great way to meet other professional working writers. If you have a good rapport with somebody, then you might connect with them and you might stay in touch with them after the festival. That can be a big deal. I've made some of my best friends at Austin, amazingly talented directors, writers, producers, everything. To start, if you can afford it, obviously you have to put yourself up in a hotel and you have to fly yourself out. You might have to buy a pass as well. Another good thing to do is identify who you want to meet with, and this can be on IMDb Pro, this can be on Studio Systems, this could be if you see someone on Twitter that has interesting credits, you can talk to them about that. Again, that's a slow burn. You don't want to jump right into it. You want to keep talking to them over time until they can recognize you, until they know you, until they are responding to you in a positive way. Those are kind of indicators that you are connecting with somebody. I think personally the best way to get connected is through referrals, so always keep those in mind. And really, while you're building your network, one little trick that I used when I was first starting off is I was just reaching out to people on LinkedIn that had interesting credits, and I would say, "Hi, I noticed your profile. I was interested in connecting with you." And then I would connect with them, have a cup of coffee with them. This is way before video chats, or not maybe before video chats, but back in the day it was, let's get a cup of coffee, let's get to know each other. When I would get coffee with the people that I connected with on LinkedIn, I would say, I really loved connecting. I would love to stay in touch. This has been so valuable to me. I would love to reciprocate, and see what they say. If there's something I can do, then you stay in touch, then you hopefully help them and you reciprocate just like they helped you. Another thing that you can do at the end of the meeting is say, I'm still building my network. Is there anybody that you think I should meet with? And then they will give you a warm referral, hopefully, if they like you. If not, then move on to the next one. But if you do that every time you meet somebody, you'll meet a bunch of other people. That's obviously going to take a little bit of time and skill, but just keep it in mind, like it's an interesting tactic. Do you have to move to LA? Do you have to live in LA? I think that being in LA is helpful, but it's not necessarily the be-all, end-all. I think that it is important. I love LA. And I have a lot of my friends here, and if I want to go get a cup of coffee with a showrunner that I love and that I really respect, I can go get a cup of coffee with them. They'll be probably in my neighborhood. And there's also a lot of showrunners that I love that and respect their work who don't live in LA, and we stay in touch through emails, video chats, whatever it might be. Another thing you can do is once you start to make these contacts is tell them, hopefully they're your friends now, that you are looking for a rep. Put it out there. See if they know anybody. Because again, the best way to get connected is through warm referrals. And I think an unsung tool at people's disposal is social media, because social media is a way for you to personally brand yourself. It's something that I've been investing a lot in lately, but whatever people see you posting, whatever you are known for, is going to be your brand. You have to have people make associations between your name and what you want to do in your career, in your writing career, whatever it may be. But social media is a great tool for that. You can promote your own writing on social media. I've heard of people getting deals through their social media. Nowadays, a lot of people are getting signed through having majorly viral social media posts. I don't necessarily know how to do that, but I know that it is happening. And as you start to get connected with people, then you're connecting on the main page, on their Twitter feed, Threads feed, LinkedIn feed, then consider sending a DM. Wait for a little while, let them know who you are, and have a reason that you're connecting with them. And before we go any further, if you're serious about becoming a screenwriter and you want to develop your skills, I started my company Million Dollar Screenplay that connects professional writers with aspiring writers. There's no better way to learn screenwriting than by working with a professional writer. I've been very lucky to gain mentorship with professional writers throughout my career, and I decided that I wanted to do that as a service. We help writers with every single part of their career, whether it's coming up with an idea, writing their script, polishing their script, helping them market their script, giving them career coaching. So if you're interested in that, go to milliondollar.screenplay.com and check out the one-on-one coaching offers that we have there. Or if you want to get a writer to help you write your script, there's even offers for that. The link will be in the description. Okay, let's get back to it. So a little bit about querying. I think that what you want to do is try to target the people that you really want to work with. Hopefully they represent writers that are having a similar career trajectory to what you want to do. So if somebody represents a writer who's worked on a particular show that you like, that might be somebody that you can potentially reach out to. When you reach out, if you know somebody that they know, let them know that, but you have to know that person. You can't just lie about it. Reach out maybe with a log line and say, I have a script, this is the log line, and see if you get a response. If you don't, you move on, you go on to the next manager or agent that you want to reach out to. And again, wait until they solicit the script. Do not send it unsolicited because you will burn your relationship. Why not just do it the right way? So which reps should you aim for? You should aim for reps who are young and hungry and will be motivated to see you succeed, because their career is tied to your success. Ideally, you have a rep that can get you showrunner meetings or get you meetings with the people that you want to work with and get you the types of jobs that you're looking for, or that they have a track record of selling scripts as well. Now, when you meet with these reps, you want to be polite, you want to be respectful of their time, but you also want to make sure that you're asking them questions. You want to ask, what did you like about my script? What do you see my career turning out to be? Just make sure that you guys are on the same page. Talk to them about their creative sensibilities. Do they like the same shows that you like? Or do they understand what kind of script you are writing? Those are important questions, and a lot of the times you're not on the same page. That might not be the greatest fit for you as a representative. You should plant a lot of seeds. I've been talking to a lot of authors recently, and a lot of them talk about submitting to 50 to 100 agents before they found their agent. I'm sure there's going to be a similar process when you're finding a screenwriting representative. If an agent or a manager wants to work with you, make sure you formalize the agreement. Have an understanding and say, I'm excited to work with you. Put the agreement in an email. And keep in mind that the industry standard is they take 10% of your deals that they make for you. Some agents and managers will try to take more, but just keep in mind that the industry standard is 10%. Another thing is to make sure that you like the person. Don't just go for the first reps that meet with you. You want to make sure that you feel good about it. It's kind of like dating. You want to feel it out. I hope that helps you in your writing career. I hope that if you find an agent or a manager, that you find the right one for you. I'm going to be doing more videos like this, so if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.